The tree that grows the strongest doesn't avoid the wind, which is the idea that if you try to make your life perfect, and a lot of these guys that come into the program, they kind of try to make the life perfect. And I had a couple of guys talk about this, and they try to avoid all bad things at all times. And it's kind of funny. I always understood that. I read this book called The Hidden Life of Trees, and the tree that doesn't avoid the wind, the tree that stands out signals to itself to shoot the roots down further, which creates a stronger base for it. And what you'll realize is the trees that are literally battering by the wind, eventually they'll fall over, don't get me wrong, after a long exposure of trauma from the wind. But one of the things that I noticed was that the trees that were sheltered and protected were the ones that fell first because their roots didn't cling. And it's the idea within yourself of like, okay, well, you can't avoid negative situations and you can't avoid things that are troublesome in your life. Sometimes you've got to go through them to signal to yourself, all right, I got to become stronger. I got to become more disciplined in this area. I got to become more wiser in the decision making that I make. And it was such a great kind of paradigm for life. And I just love it. So I kind of write those things down because they're a good reminder of life. The tree that doesn't avoid the wind is the strongest. So by putting yourself and pushing it and not taking the easy road and not taking the easy route and really being determined into making yourself someone that is a winner, someone that is a leader, someone that is a go-getter and doesn't take the easy route, that actually pushes himself into situations that he may fail. That is the person that ends up becoming the strongest. And so I think that isn't shown through a lot of your life, but that's shown through a couple of decisions that you make and then a prolonged period of making that decision making. So you got the guy that chooses all the weak options, and you got the guy that chooses all the strong options. It might not be shown within a month or 2 months, but it'll be shown in a year, 2 years, 10 years. This is a great example when you look at guys back in high school. I went to high school about 13 years ago now, and I look at the guys now that made decisions that we did back then and who really, really wins. And you could say that they have a family and everything, and I'm traveling around the world. I don't have a family, so they're winning. Or some people would say, because I don't have any sort of limitations, I'm winning. But I look at that in myself and like kind of the life that I chose. And it's not that I didn't choose this life, but I wanted the life that I didn't. I had no walls, no boundaries. I could just do whatever I want whenever I wanted it. And that was a big thing. So I look at my life as a much more of a success based on those decisions I made 10 years ago. And it wasn't so much the decision I made, but hence the process and mechanics behind me thinking of like choosing this option, choosing this option, choosing this option. It compounds over 10 years, and then I become the guy that has the life that everybody wants. So yeah, that was a good food for thought. So look at that. Look at your life where you're trying to avoid certain things and realize that the tree that doesn't avoid the wind is the strongest.